Hello, in this video we will take a look at the trends for COVID-19 as of April 7th, 2020. We will start with US first, and overall you can see that the status is in green. The things are improving at a very small pace. We have 0.2% daily improvement overall, but it's definitely better than to be yellow and in red, so that's good news. We see a lot more blue bubbles for the states. That's also good news, and the best news of all is the big bubble in New York is also turning green. That's awesome. If we look at individual states, we see that New York, as I said, is in green. New Jersey is in yellow. So it's 1.2% growth rate, so starting to get contained. Illinois looks like it's at 9. That number does not look right. I assume that they just did not have a chance to put all of their cases in. We also see that California is unfortunately in red. So for California, we're looking at 20% growth. Numbers are still not extremely high at 1,300. Louisiana is in red at 40%, but if you take a look at the trend here, you could see that the trend is actually going down. So hopefully that's going to be eventually in much better shape. This Pennsylvania, we have 11% growth. That's not good. Massachusetts edged itself down to yellow, so that's good. One state where we see a big uptake is in Georgia. You could see a huge growth in cases here. We went from 667 new cases to 1,500 new cases. That's not good, so hopefully that's temporary. Other than that, you could see that most of the states, the social distancing appears to be working, so that's good news. You will also notice that I've added one more column here, D0. That's an estimate for how long it'll take to contain this virus pandemic in this particular geography. So by default, I put 100. I will talk a little bit more about how this logic works when I talk about the forecasting piece of this video. But every time we see 100, that means that either the rates of containment are very slow, or there's actually an increase in cases on a day-by-day basis. Let's take a look at individual countries now. So as you can see, the same could be said about the countries. We see a lot of green bubbles. Italy is shrinking at almost 8% on average. And when I say shrinking, I mean the new cases. Spain, cases are also shrinking at about the same rate. France, unfortunately, we see wild swings in reported numbers, and it doesn't seem like situation in France is getting much better. United Kingdom, I will do a separate video on mortality rates. There is a lot of unfortunate things happening in UK, but at least the new cases in UK seem to be contained. And overall, you could see there's a fair amount of green bars across different countries, so that's definitely good news. Hopefully we're starting to get over the hump with the new cases progression. Lastly, I want to talk about the new feature that we've added to the dashboard, and that new feature is forecasting. So in today's version of the dashboard, we are releasing the alpha page for our forecast functionality. And the way the forecasting functionality works is that we're looking at the overall average growth rate over the last 5 days. If the growth rate is still not negative, we're just assuming that we're hoping that on average it will take cases are going to start coming down at about 1%. So this is a very crude estimate, obviously not accurate, but kind of an optimistic look forward. So, but if we do see cases shrinking, then we will apply that trend in our forecasting, and we are going to provide two metrics. Number one is how many days it will take for new cases to drop by 75%, and also how many days it will take for new cases to drop below 1. So if we look at Italy, in Italy, cases are shrinking at 7 or almost 8% daily on average. If this rate were to continue, then in 16 days, we should be able to see cases drop to below 75%, by more than 75% from today's levels, and this will occur on April 23rd. And then we should see no cases in Italy if that trajectory were to continue in about 97 days. If we click at Spain, the same thing happening in Spain, but the rate is very similar in Spain and in Italy, but we see that in Spain we today have 5,000 cases, whereas in Italy we have 3,000 cases. So even though the rate of change is about the same, it will take much longer for cases to come down in Italy. So we estimate that cases will drop by 75% by April 24th, and it will take 100 days for the all of the cases to go away. Let's take a look at Netherlands. Netherlands are shrinking at 4.5% daily on average. So we're hoping that in 30 days, cases will, 75% drop will be in 30 days. But this is not the rate fast enough to eradicate the disease in less than 100 days. So it'll be at least 100 days. If you look at US, cases are shrinking. So you see these bars here on the left is the cases trend, and the white line is the forecast. So you see that this the shrinking of 0.2%, 0.02% is not very fast. So at this rate, it'll take forever for cases to come down. So once we're going to see the rates of shrinking of new cases similar to Italy or Spain, who are a little ahead of us in the curve, then that forecasted amount is going to become more aggressive. So right now you can see this is the bars are the values for Italy, and the line is the forecasted new cases for Italy as well. So let's go back to our main screen. Again, if we take a look at the world, we see a lot of blue bubbles. If we take a look at the US, we see that we see a lot more green bars today than we saw a couple of days ago. So overall, I think it's fair to start asking a question whether we are over the hump in terms of the new cases. I will do a separate video on deaths. There's obviously 5 to 7 days delay in peaks of deaths versus big peaks of new cases. So please stay tuned. Come again in a few days for the new video. Thank you. Bye.